So Tripada, Ekapada of the Lord has been mentioned. How the spiritual realm is spread over three parts. One part is this world, and three part is the spiritual world. The power of one part is temporary, and it is said the three parts are eternal. So, from the Purush Sukta, any of the chapter's name is also Purush Sukta, confirms what it is confirming: the supremacy of the Lord. The Purush Sukta's fourth verse has been also described here. One, two, three, four verses have been described. And why there is, who are the people who are going to come again and again? They are the ones who are conditioned by their own desires. With their own desires, they condition themselves, and in this way, they go on coming in this material world. They are not interested in Krishna consciousness, but one who is interested in the service of Krishna, they always reside in the eternal world. So, Vikramat Sashanana Shane Abhi Tato Vishwanga Vikramat Sashanana Shane Abhi. Same thing has been also given in the 21st verse also. A person who is forgetful, who is into the materialistic activities, Sashana Nashane, is again to come in this world. Sashana means activities of lording it over. Anashane means activities in devotional service. Now, two activities have been given. Sashana means trying to lord it over. Anashane means becoming servant of Krishna. You should understand this word. Anashane means devotional service. Sashana means activities of lording it over. Because of this, Vichakrame, the destination has been described. Where will this living entity reside? Whether in the spiritual world or in the eternal world. So, avidya is science, vidya is factual knowledge. The Lord is the master. He is a master of both the science as well as the knowledge. He is the master. He is a Swami, he is the master. Ashraya means he is the supreme. Even if a person has taken the shelter of this material world, because of this material world is compared to science, but the master of this science is also Krishna. When the conditioned soul comes to this knowledge, and automatically this world is no more the material world. He is in the eternal world, though being in the material world. Second canto, 6th chapter, 22nd verse. Yasmad andam virad jagye bhutendriya gunatmakah tadvayam atyagad vishwam gobhi surya ivatapan. Yasmad andam virad jagye bhutendriya gunatmakah tadravyam atyagad vishwam gobhi surya ivatapan. Now, Yasmad means from whom? Andam, all these universal globes. Virata, the gigantic universal form. Jagye, appear. Bhuta, Bhutaha, elements. Indriha, senses. Guna atmakaha, qualitative. Tadravyam, the universes and the universal form, etc. Atyagat, surpassed. Vishwam, all the universes. Gobihi, by the rays. Surya, the sun. Iva, life. Atapan means distributed rays and heat. Translation is, from that spirit personality of Godhead, all the universal globes, that is Andam, and the universal form with all the material elements. There is a Virata Bhutaha Indriya. Qualities and senses are generated. That is Indriya, Gunatmakaha. Everything is generated from him. But still, he is aloof from such material manifestations, like the sun, which is separate from its rays and heat. A nice example is given. Like the sun is separate from its rays and heat. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibha Vitavis. Tabhirya eva nija rupataya kalavi. Goloka eva nivasatya khilatva bhutau. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pachami. So he is enlivening everyone, but he is in his abode, Goloka. He is present in every nook and corner, but still he is present in his spiritual world. Now, sun is present through its rays in this material world, yet sun globe is different. The same way Lord is present by his opulence, Vibhuti Shakti. 10th chapter describes about his Vibhuti Shakti. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I create everything, but I am not there in anything. That means he remains aloof from his creation. And that should be the quality of the authorities also. Now, sun is an authority. Sun gives the rays. Sun gives its power. Yet he remains aloof. No asakti. In the same way, the authority is supposed to give the services to everyone, yet remains aloof. No attachment to anyone. Like the government is run by the Prime Minister, President. They are present through their administration, Shashan. They are present through their administration, yet they are aloof. So if this is there, then free will is given, whether to take it or not. That is how Krishna gives a free will. Now sun gives a rays, but allows the people to choose whether to accept the rays or close the eyes or close your curtain. So administration is done in this way. Whoever is an authority in the administration, he should allow the free will whether to accept or not. You cannot just bind and you cannot just beat a person. You cannot do that. Like government has given the free will to accept cigarette or reject the cigarette, giving a warning. So this is how the sashan is done. This is how the parents also grow up the children. They are there for their care. At the same time, they are aloof with their freedom. When you say aloof means Krishna remains aloof to allow the souls to accept or to reject. Whether to take it sashana, that means try to lord it over the material nature, or asanha. That means whether you accept or whether you reject. That free will Krishna has given. Anashane. Anashane means whether you take my shelter or whether you don't take my shelter. But I am always there. Even this material world is Krishna's energy. Krishna is only providing, but allowing the people to even reject him also. How many people criticize Krishna? So many. We are bothered about our criticism, but even Lord is not away from criticism. Even people are criticizing him also so much. But Krishna allows. And that is how the temple is run. Even the temple, your whole administration, your world, everything is run by this free will. It's not that you have to accept. If you don't accept, I will just shoot you. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. So here also the same thing. Lord is giving, at the same time he is remaining aloof. Sun is providing, but sun is remaining aloof. Deep meanings are there for these verses. So here free will of the soul has been given. If you see, just read like that, you will not understand where is the free will. The free will is by understanding the sun's example. The free will has been given by God. Because the previous verse speaks about how to connect this. How we should understand about the free will has been given. The previous verse speaks about Sashana, Anashane. Both has been given. Ubhe, both. Krishna is Ashraya. So Sashana means lording it over, conditioned souls. Anashane means one who takes shelter. So now Krishna creates, Krishna allows the jivas to act to their choice, whatever their desire. In this way, Krishna remains aloof. When you say aloof means what? Krishna is not present here, Krishna is present. He remains aloof from the choice of the people. This is very important aspect to be understood. He remains aloof. Is Lord not present here? Lord is present as Aksha Vigraha. So when you say aloof means what? His power is there. He is present. He is aloof from the choice of the people. Anashane or Sashane. Do whatever you desire. But both the places, whether you accept or whether you don't accept, you have taken my Ashraya. Ashraya of my supremacy. Ashraya of my opulence. Okay? Bindu Mataji read. A beautiful verses actually. That's okay, 1 minute. This is from Tato Virad Jayata Virajo Adhipurushaha Sajato Atyarichyata Paschad Bhumi Matho Puraha. This is Purushukta. Read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranam. Yasmad andam virajadye bhutendriya gunatmakaha taddravyam atyagad vishvam gobihi surya ivatapam. Translation. From that personality of Godhead, all the universal globes and the universal form with all material elements, qualities, and senses are generated. Yet, he is aloof from such material manifestations, like the sun, which is separate from its ray and heat. Purport. The supreme truth has been ascertained in the previous verse as Purusha or the Purushottama, the supreme person. The absolute truth, the absolute person is the Ishvara or the supreme controller by his different energies. The Ekapad Vibhuti manifestation of the material energy of the Lord is just like one of the many mistresses of the Lord by whom the Lord is not so much attracted as indicated in the language of the Gita, Binna Prakritihi. But the region of the Tripad Vibhuti, being a pure spiritual manifestation of the energy of the Lord, is, so to speak, more attractive to him. The Lord therefore generates the material manifestations by impregnating the material energy, and then within the manifestation, he expands himself as the gigantic form of the Vishvarupa. The Vishvarupa, as it was shown to Arjuna, is not the original form of the Lord. The original form of the Lord is transcendental form of Purushottama or Krishna himself. It is very nicely explained herein that he expands himself just like the sun. The sun expands itself by its terrible heat and rays, yet the sun is always aloof from such rays and heat. The impersonalist takes into consideration the rays of the Lord without any information of the tangible, transcendental, eternal form of the Lord, known as Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is in his supreme personal form with 2 hands and flute is bewildering for the impersonalist who can accommodate only the gigantic Vishvarupa of the Lord. They should know that the rays of the sun are secondary to the sun. And similarly, the impersonal gigantic form of the Lord is also secondary to the personal form as Purushottama. The Brahma Samhita 5.37 confirms this statement as follows. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibha Vitabis Tabirya Eva Nijarupat Kaya Kalabhi Golok Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, the one who enlivens the senses of everyone by his personal bodily rays, resides in his transcendental abode called Goloka. Yet, he is present in every nook and corner of his creation by expansion of happy spiritual rays equal in power to his personal potency of bliss. He is therefore simultaneously personal and impersonal by his inconceivable potency, or he is the one without a second, displaying complete unity in a diversity of material and spiritual manifestations. He is separate from everything, yet still nothing is different from him. Hare Krishna Mataji.
He is separate from everything, yet nothing is different from him. Achintya Bheda, Abheda Tattva. Achintya Bheda Bheda. Everything belongs to him, yet he is separate. Achintya Bheda. There is difference. At the same time, there is oneness. Yadasya nabhyan nalinanadahamasam mahatmanah navidam yajna sambaram purushavayava nurte. Yadasya nabhayan nalina ahamasam mahatmanah navidam yajna sambharan purushavayava nurte. At the same time, asya nabhayan, from his abdomen, Narinath, from the lotus flower. Aham. Now Brahmaji is saying, Aham, I. Ahasam took my birth. Maha Atmanaha, of the great person. Na Avidam, did not know. Yajna Sambharan. So, sacrificial ingredients, Purushaha, of the Lord, Anvayan, personal bodily limbs, Rute, except. So, when I was born from the abdominal lotus flower of the Lord, Mahavishnu, the great person, I had no ingredients for sacrificial performances except the bodily limbs of the great personality of Godhead. So see, this is also very important verse. Bodily limbs of Lord is there, but other ingredients I was not having. The Lord Brahma is known as Swayambhu. He says, everything was there with me. Lord's limbs are there. Actually, by using the Lord's limbs only, this verse is actually connected. 23 is connected to 24, 26. So when I appeared, I could not see any other ingredients. I only could see the limbs of the Lord. If Lord is everywhere, then how can I serve him with a method to attaining him, since there is no differentiation of the articles, materials, articles of worship, and even his worshippers? That is true, because it is necessary to worship him. And because there is nothing except him, one should perform worship of him with articles which are also him. Just as one worships earth with scent and flowers made of earth. His order alone is authority. To show this, he gives himself an example. When I appeared from the lotus in his navel, there were no ingredients for sacrifice. So here, what is been asked, the question first is asked is, why am I worshipping him with the ingredients which is actually belonging to him? So example is given. When you are worshipping the earth, you are worshipping with the flower. That flower is also belonging to earth. When you worship sun, how you worship sun? You offer water. It is the sun who is the cause of water, isn't it? So you are offering with the things belonging to that person only. But that is required. Why it is required? To show that everything belongs to him. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Everything belongs to him. That is why you are worshipping him with the same ingredients belonging to him. I am not able to see those ingredients. So I am not able to worship Lord. I am only able to see the limbs of the Lord. The question can come, why you want the ingredients? The ingredients also belongs to Krishna. Yes, everything belongs to Krishna. With those things only I can worship Lord. Okay, Gyandeep Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Yadasya nabhyan nalina dahmasam mahatmana navidam yagya sambharan purusavayavanarte. Translation. When I was born from the abdominal lotus flower of the Lord, Mahavishnu, the great person, I had no ingredients for sacrificial performance except the bodily limbs of the great personality of Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Brahma, the creator of cosmic manifestation, is known as Swayambhu, or one who is born without father and mother. The general process is that a living creature is born out of the sex combination of male father and the female mother. But Brahma, the firstborn living being, is born out of the abdominal lotus flower of Mahavishnu, plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. The abdominal lotus flower is part of the Lord's bodily limbs, and Brahma is born out of the lotus flower. Therefore, Lord Brahma is also a part of the Lord's body. Brahma, after his appearance in the gigantic hollow of the universe, saw darkness and nothing else. He felt perplexity, and from his heart he was inspired by the Lord to undergo austerity, thereby acquiring the ingredients for sacrificial performance. But there was nothing beside the two of them, namely the personality of Mahavishnu and Brahma himself. Born of the bodily part of the Lord for sacrificial performance, many ingredients were in need, especially animals. The animal sacrifice is never meant for killing the animal, but for achieving the successful result of the sacrifice. The animal offered in the sacrificial fire is, so to speak, destroyed, but the next moment it is given a new life by dint of the Vedic hymns chanted by the expert priest. When such an expert priest is not available, the animal sacrifice in the fire of the sacrificial altar is forbidden. Thus, Brahma created even the sacrificial ingredients out of the body limbs of the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, which means that the cosmic order was created by Brahma himself. Also, nothing is created out of nothing, but everything is created from the person of Lord. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Aham sarvasya prabhavatah sarvam parvarte. Everything is made from my body limbs, and I am therefore the original source of all creations. The impersonalists argue that there is no use in worshipping the Lord when everything is nothing but Lord himself. The personalists however, worship the Lord out of the great sense of gratitude, utilizing the ingredients born out of the bodily limbs of the Lord. The fruits and flowers are available from the body of the earth, and yet Mother Earth is worshipped by the sensible devotee with ingredients born from the earth. Similarly, Mother Ganges is worshipped by the water of the Ganges, and yet the worshipper enjoys the result of such worship. Worship of the Lord is also performed by the ingredients born from the bodily limbs of the Lord. And yet the worshipper, who is himself a part of the Lord, achieves the result of devotional service to the Lord. While the impersonalist wrongly concludes that he is the Lord himself, the personalist, out of a great gratitude, worships the Lord in devotional service, knowing perfectly well that nothing is different from the Lord. The devotee therefore endeavors to apply everything in the service of the Lord, because he knows that everything is the property of the Lord and that no one can claim anything as one's own. This perfect conception of oneness helps the worshipper in being engaged in his loving service, whereas the impersonalist, being falsely puffed up, remains a non-devotee forever without being recognized by the Lord. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So everything is created by Lord. At the same time, Krishna says, I remain aloof. Chaturvarnya maya srishtam gunataram avibhah sakartaram apima vidyakartaram apyayam. I am not responsible. Everything I am only giving. Everything belongs to Krishna. There is not a thing which is not belonging to Krishna. Or not there. That is why his name is Vishnu. Vishati iti sarvatra Vishnu. He is present in everything. So what we are giving is actually Krishna only. We are providing ghee in the sacrifice, that is Krishna. We are providing flower in the sacrifice, that is Krishna. That means everything is Krishna. There is a nice statement which has been put, nothing comes of nothing. Nothing is created out of nothing. There are some people speaking like this. Nothing comes out of nothing. Everything is shunya. The shunyavadi principle, people talk like this. Everything is shunya. From shunya, what shunya will come? Nothing is created out of nothing, but everything is created from Lord. Yes, matter cannot create matter. Matter cannot create matter. Flower cannot be created by somebody else. So we should understand nothing is created out of nothing refers to nothing is created out of matter. It is only sub-creation. Original creation, everything is Krishna. Like chapati is created by the ingredients given by Krishna. So you cannot say, I have created chapati. No, it's just a sub-creation. Why Brahmaji is saying this? Brahmaji is saying that I did not find anything. I was searching now. I am searching. That means I have not created anything. Very important words. I have not created anything. That is why I could not find anything. Now I am searching. That means everything belongs to Krishna. I am just giving it to Krishna in many different forms. I am just offering to Krishna his only ingredients, who is not different from him. And I only give it to Krishna. I'm just giving it to Krishna in various forms. Now 24, 25 and 26. That has been taken together actually by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Again 24, 25, 26 runs to another 4 verses. 27, 28, 29, 30. Let us see. Teshu yagyasya pashavah savanaspatayah kusha idam cha deva yagyanam kalaschoru gunanvitah. So for the sacrifice, you require sacrificial ingredients. What are the sacrificial ingredients you require? Sometimes animals, pashavaha, savanaspatayah, flowers, leaves, kushaha, straw. All these things are required. Along with what? Sacrificial altar, deva yagyam. Time is also required, kala. You see, time is also Krishna. Everything is Krishna. Kala. Guna anvitaha. And a suitable person, qualified person. That is why he is also required. Qualified person is not there, then who will perform the sacrifice? So when the puja is done, all these things are required. Then vastunyo shadayah sneha rasaloha mrudo jalam rucho yajumshi samani chaturho hotram sasattama. Then you require utensils also. Aushadha. You require grains, sneha, that is ghee, clarified butter. Rasaloha mrudaha, honey, gold, earth, jalam, water is required. Ruchaha, Rigved is also required. Yajamsi, Yajurved is required. Samaved is required. Samani. Chatuhutram, 4 persons conducting the performance are required. 4 priests are required. So all these Sattamaha, O most pious one. So Narada, all these ingredients are required. So to perform a sacrificial successfully, at least 4 expert priests are required. One can offer hota, one can chant Udgata, one can kindle the fire, Adhavaryu, one can supervise, that is Brahma. Then 26th verse, Namadeyani mantrascha dakshine dakshinascha vratani cha devatanu krama kalpa sankalpastantrameva cha. So other necessities are also required. Namadheyani, invoking the names of the demigods. So you start with Gadapati, Mahadev, Durgaji. In this way it starts invoking demigods first. Mantra, specific mantras to particular demigods. Very important. Krishna is telling this. On the name of Krishna consciousness, we avoid this. This is wrong. It's a wrong thing. When Lord himself in Purushottam says how to perform in yajna, don't perform. Just Hare Nam Eva Kevalam Kalau Nastiva Nastiva Nasti Gatirunasi. Just chant the holy name, but be like Haridas Thakur. Completely absorbed in Harinam. For us, for a sadhaka, there are so many troubles which come. That is why yajna is recommended. Like going to a doctor is recommended. So yajna is also invoking the demigods and taking the help of the demigods so that we can progress in devotional service. So while invoking, naturally the demigod worship has to be done. Immediately we say this is karma kand. No. The consciousness is which kanda? It is a bhakti kanda or karma kanda. If the consciousness is to serve Krishna, every karma kanda is spiritual. If the consciousness is just a ritual, I'll be chanting also, but it's just a ritualistic chanting, then that becomes just a ritual, another karma kanda. If there is a motive behind devotional service, again, that is also karma kanda. But if the motive is to progress in devotional service, to remove the kleshas, then everything is spiritual. Now the demigods are also invoked, Dakshinaha, reward, Shatani, Vratani, was Devataha, Anukramaha, one demigod after another, Kalpaha, the specific scripture, Sankalpaha, specific purpose, Tantram, a particular process, Eva, Cha. So, Sankalpa is done first. What is a Sankalpa? Where you are situated, from which Vamsha you are coming, Jambudvipe, Bharatvarshe, Bharatakande, in this way Sankalpa, Bhuta Shuddhi, Sthana Shuddhi. There is a process. Dhadam karke we cannot sit in the yajna. Bhuta Shuddhi. Now the children are taught in the school how to take vrata, because the qualified Brahmana, how he becomes qualified? By invoking. First, I am just a pavitram pavitro va sarvavastagatopi va bhasparet pundarikaksham andarvaye shuchihi. In whatever condition I am sitting, let me always remember Krishna. That is the first line spoken by every karma kanda person. Now just say, we say everything is karma kanda. Consciousness behind that ritual, that matters. You want dhana, dhanya? No problem. For the service of Krishna, spiritual. For one's own gratification, then that becomes material. Just because we hear some mantras, oh, this is karma kanda. Just because we see a fire coming, oh, this is karma kanda. No, sacrifice, sacrificial altars, how to be worshipped, specific purposes, specific processes. So somebody wants some specific materialistic purpose is there. Again, specific processes are there. Dharma, artha, kama. Now that kama refers to whether that kama is directing us to moksha and bhakti. There it matters. Dharma, artha has to be done because 4 purushartha. If 4 purushartha is not done, then panchama purushartha cannot be attained. 4 purushartha for a sadhaka is important because sanskara is also important. You cannot be without vivaha sanskara. So these are the sanskaras where sacrifice is involved. You cannot just go to the court and sign the paper and come out. That also you can do. But you cannot do that because that is not a purificatory process. You may say, I am chanting Harinam, I'll just go to the court, sign the paper and come. That means we are going against the scriptures, the Vedas which has been given by Krishna. Anybody can argue, na? Harinam is this, for this Kali Yuga, Harinam is a Sankirtana Yajna. So for marriage also I can do like that. Why marriage also? Let all of us stay together only, na? And do whatever we want. Why Srila Prabhupada encouraged marriage, vivaha ceremony? At that time, what Prabhupada told, all of you sit without yajna sanskaras. What to speak, even in the Diksha sanskara. Yajna is there. Yajna is there. Why Harinam is only given? Na? Harinam is given, take the Harinam and be peaceful. Why fire sacrifice is done? Because Krishna takes all the things in the form of the blaze of the fire. Yajnathat karmano nitra lokkoyam karmaban. Krishna's one of the name is Yajna. Sanskaras cannot be given up. And for the sanskaras, here Brahmaji says, one has to invoke the Lord with mudras. A lot of mudras are there. Names of the demigods, mudras. That is why a devotee should be intelligent and knowledgeable, not just sentimental. Sentimentalists cannot progress in devotional service. See Krishna in everything. That is very much important. When he sees Krishna in everything, he will not find any dosha in anything. Okay. The emphasis is given as qualified brahmanas. Yes. So that is the work of a devotee. Qualified brahmana means he should accept Krishna. Vedeshta sarver ahame vedyaha vedanta pujye videvata. Krishna is present in everything. Vedas are given by him. That knowledge should be there. That is why preaching activities are very important. Brahmana should understand everything emanates from Krishna. Then he becomes a qualified Brahmana. When he is chanting Purush Sukta, he should understand that everything belongs to Krishna. Dvipada, Ekapada, everything belongs to Krishna. Okay, Aruna, read all the 3 verses 24, 25, 26 along with the translations and perfect.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Text 24. You
what you do? 1 minute. You video you off. Then now read.
Text 24. Teshu yajnasya pashavah savanaspatayah kushaha idam cha devayajnam kalashroru gudanvitaha. Translation: for performing sacrificial ceremonies, one requires sacrificial ingredients such as flowers, leaves, straw, along with the sacrificial altar and a suitable time, spring. Text 25. Vasturnyoshadayah sneha rasaloham mrido jalam richo yajnyushi samani chaturhotram cha sattama. Translation: other requirements are utensils, grains, clarified butter, honey, gold, earth, water, the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, and Sama Veda, and 4 priests to perform sacrifice. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To perform a sacrifice successfully, at least 4 expert priests are needed. One who can offer hota, one who can chant udgata, one who can kindle the sacrificial fire without the aid of separate fire, advaryu, and one who can supervise, Brahma. Such sacrifices were conducted from the birth of Brahma, the first living creature, and were carried on till the reign of Maharaja Yudhishthira. But expert Brahmana priests are very rare in this age of corruption and quarrel, and therefore, in the present age, only the yajna of chanting the holy name of the Lord is recommended. The scriptures enjoin Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nasti Eva Nasti Eva Nasti Eva Gatir Anyatha. Text 26. Namadeyani mantrascha dakshinascha vratani cha devatanukramah kalpah sankalpastantrameva cha. Translation: other necessities include invoking the different names of the demigods by specific hymns and vows of recompense in accordance with a particular scripture for specific purpose and by specific process. Purport: the whole process of offering sacrifice is under the category of fruitive action, and such activities are extremely scientific. They mainly depend on the process of vibrating sounds with a particular accent. It is a great science, and due to being out of proper use for more than 4,000 years, for want of qualified brahmanas, such performances of sacrifice are no longer effective, nor are they recommended in this fallen age. Any such sacrifice undertaken in this age as a matter of show may simply be a cheating process by the clever priestly order. But such a show of sacrifices cannot be effective at any stage. Fruitive action is being carried on by the help of material science and to a little extent by gross material help. But the materialists await a still more subtle advancement in the process of vibrating sounds, on which the Vedic hymns are established. Gross material science cannot divert the real purpose of human life. It can only increase the artificial needs of life without any solution to the problems of life. Therefore, the way of materialistic life leads to the wrong type of human civilization. Since the ultimate aim of life is spiritual realization, the direct way of invoking the holy name of the Lord, as mentioned above, is precisely recommended by Lord Chaitanya, and people of modern age can easily take advantage of the simple process which is tenable for the condition of the complicated social nature. Hare Krishna. Complicated social structure. Hare Krishna.
Here, in order to make ingredients teshu for sacrifice, I produce the ingredients from the Lord's limbs, sambharaha, samvrtaha. So, vanaspati, everything, anyhow, it is belonging to Krishna only. By assembled. I assembled means, what is the meaning of assembled? You create. Sub-creation has been done. Understand it very nicely, these verses. Sambharaha samvrtaha. Krishna has given Kala Shakti, Jiva Shakti, Padartha Shakti. All these three Shaktis have come. Modes of material nature, everything. Now only limbs of Lord is seen. Then what did Brahma do? He removed and started creating. Vanaspati has been created. Pashu has been created. Flowers have been created. That means Brahmaji did the sub-creation and offer the same thing to Lord. Like earth gives flower, you are offering that flower to earth. It has been given by earth, but in a different form. In the same way, everything is belonging to him. For performing the ceremony, I sub-created everything. So 27, 28, 29th verse speaks about it. That also we can continue it. Gatayo matayaschaiva rayashchitam samarpanam rushavaya vairete sambhara samvrta mayang. So we can understand these verses. Sambhara. Mute your phone. Gatayaha. To achieve Vishnu, that is ultimate goal. Matayaha, worshipping the demigods. Prayaschitam, compensation. Samarpanam, ultimate offering. Purusha, the personality of God. Ava, from the parts of the Lord. Etehe sambharaha, the ingredients, samvrtaha, were arranged. By whom? By me. Because Narada says, you have created everything. He says, no, everything belongs to Krishna. I have just done sambhara, arrangement. Sambhara, samvrtaha. Thus, I had to arrange all these necessary ingredients and paraphernalia of sacrifice from the personal bodily parts of the Lord. By invocation of the demigod's names, the ultimate goal Vishnu was gradually attained, and thus compensation and ultimate offering were complete. So why did I utter the demigod's names? So that I can attain Krishna. You are taking the shelter of the demigods to attain Krishna. What is the purpose of taking this shelter of Krishna? To attain. What is the purpose of taking shelter of demigods? To attain Vishnu. And thus Prayaschitta is done. And ultimate offering is done. Samarpanam. Prayaschitta Samarpanam. That is why you say, Om Ajnanatimirandasya. There is another verse is there. Ajnanina maya dosham na tesham netan hare shamastatvam sheshashaila shikhamane. Om Ajnanina. Ajnanina. I don't know, I was just Ajnana. In this way, Prayashchitam is done. First, finding one soul fault. Ajnanina shamastatvam. So, shamastatvam, please forgive me. Please forgive me. I don't know. Aruna, continue.
Hare Krishna.
Continue. Yeah.
Good.
Continue.
Text 27. Gatayo matayaschaiva prayaschittam samarpanam purushavaya vairete sambhara sambrita maya. Translation. Thus I had to arrange all these necessary ingredients and paraphernalia of sacrifice from the personal bodily parts of the personality of Godhead. By invocation of the demigods, names the ultimate goal, Vishnu was gradually attained, and thus compensation and ultimate offering was complete. Purport. In this verse, special stress is given to the person of the Supreme Lord and not to his impersonal Brahma Jyoti as being the source of all supplies. Narayana, the Supreme Lord, is the goal of sacrificial results, and therefore the Vedic hymns are ultimately meant for attaining this goal. Human life is thus made successful by pleasing Narayana and getting entrance into the direct association of Narayana in the spiritual kingdom of Vaikuntha. Hare Krishna.
Next. इति संवृत संभार पुरुषावयवैरहम् इति तमेव पुरुषं यज्ञे तेनैवायजमीश्वरम् इति संवृत संभार पुरुषावयवैरहम् तमेव पुरुषं यज्ञं तेनैवायजमीश्वरम् इति संवृत संभार. What did I do? I collected everything. Purushaha avaya vaihi, from the parts of the Lord. Aham, I, tameva, offered to him only. Why? He is the enjoyer. Purusham yagyam is the enjoyer of the sacrifice. Tena eva. In this way, with all these things, ayajam Ishwaram, I worship the supreme controller. Took from him only and gave it to him. What a wonderful statement. Just took from him, like you take money from your parents, go and buy something, make a different form and give it to your parents. Took from parents only everything, and while giving, there is ahankara when it comes. I have given to my parents. Parents can say, you fool, I gave you the intelligence. Sometimes the children have a pride. No, I sustain my parents. I give money to my parents. So, it is a foolishness to give that money, that samarthya has been given by your parents only. They made you capable to earn. You took from them in giving to them. There, if the ahankara comes, kartaham abhijanati, if he understands that I am the karta, gone. He can never understand Krishna. I am taking from him and offering to him. I dress very nicely. When Lord is dressed, I am taking from him and giving to him. What's so big I am doing? That is how, see Brahmaji, how humble is. How humble. So Brahmaji says, oh Narada, I am not the creator. I just took from him, made some other forms and given to him. Assembling, like you assemble the parts of the car. What a person does, you know how the car is made? There is a company which makes parts. There is another company which assembles the part and then presents Maruti Suzuki. But is Maruti Suzuki making the parts? Parts are made somewhere else. Every company, this is only the rule. Parts will be made somewhere else, assembling the parts and giving the form and presenting it. But getting the Shreya, that is a problem. So what we are also doing the same thing, assembling, presenting, taking the credit. I am everything. As things will go, then only we can progress. Okay. Bindu Mataji, read. Bindu,
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare
read.
Krishna.
Bindu Madhav
इति
Mataji.
व्रत संहारः पुरुष पुरुषावये वरेहं तमेव पुरुषं यज्ञं तेनैव यजम् ईश्वरम्. Translation: Thus I created the ingredients and the paraphernalia for offering sacrifice out of the parts of the body of the Supreme Lord, the enjoyer of the sacrifice, and I perform the sacrifice to satisfy the Lord. People in general, purport, people in general are always anxious to have peace of mind or peace in the world, but they do not know how to achieve such a standard of peace in the world. Such peace in the world is obtainable by performance of sacrifice and by practice of austerity. In the Bhagavad Gita 5.29, the following prescription is recommended. Bhoktaram yagyatapsam sarvaloka maheshwaram surdam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. The Karma Yogis know that the Supreme Lord is the factual enjoyer and the maintainer of all sacrifices and the austere life. They also know that the Lord is the ultimate proprietor of all the planets and is the factual friend of all living entities. Such knowledge gradually converts the Karma Yogis into pure devotees of the Lord through the association of unalloyed devotees, and thus they are able to liberate. Thus, they are able to be liberated from material bondage. Brahma, the original living being within the material world, taught us the way of sacrifice. The word sacrifice suggests dedication of one's own interest for satisfaction of a second person. That is the way of all activities. Every man is engaged in sacrificing his interest for others, either in the form of family, society, community, country, or the entire human society. But perfection of such sacrifices attained when they are performed for the sake of the Supreme Person, the Lord. Because the Lord is the proprietor of everything, because the Lord is the friend of all living creatures, and because he is the maintainer of the performer of sacrifice, as well as the supplier of the ingredients of sacrifice. It is he only, no one else, who should be satisfied by all sacrifices. The whole world is engaged in sacrificing energy for advancement of learning, social upliftment, economic development, and plans for total improvement of the human condition. But no one is interested in sacrificing for the sake of the Lord, as it is advised in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, there is no peace in the world. If men at all want peace in the world, they must practice sacrifice in the interest of the Supreme Proprietor and friend of all. Hare Krishna Mataji.
29th. See what Prabhupada has written, just see the statements. If men at all want peace in the world, they must practice sacrifice in the interest of the Supreme Proprietor and friend of all. So Harinam, Sankirtan, Sanskara, Sanskara, Yagyas, all these things are done for what? For the benefit of everyone. That is how a devotee is always friend of everyone. And also showing to everyone, Krishna is the supreme friend of everyone. Tataste bhratara ime prajanam patayo nava ayajan vyaktam avyaktam purusham susamayitaham. Tataste, after that, tatah bhratraha ime prajanam nava ayajan. So 9 brothers, your 9 brothers who are the masters of the living creatures, Prajapatis, they all were born. Avyaktam. Vyaktam avyaktam purusham susamahitah. So why they did, why they were born? They all were born, who are the masters. After the 9 brothers, who are the masters of the living creatures, Prajapatis, they are born to perform the sacrifice with proper rituals. To whom, for satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Avyaktam also, Vyaktam also. So the purpose of sacrifice is to satisfy Vishnu. That is the purpose of sacrifice. Okay. Gyandeep Prabhu, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam. Tatastre Bhratar ime prajanam patayo nava ajan vyaktam avyaktam purusham susamahita. Translation. My dear son, thereafter your 9 brothers, who are the masters of living creatures, perform the sacrifice with proper rituals to satisfy both the manifested and non-manifested personalities. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The manifested personalities are the demigods, like the ruler of the heavenly kingdom, Indra and his associates, and the non-manifested personality is the Lord himself. The manifested personalities are mundane controllers of the material affairs, whereas the non-manifested personality of Godhead is the transcendental, beyond the range of the material atmosphere. In this age of Kali, the manifested demigods are also not to be seen, for space travel has completely stopped. So both the powerful demigods and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are non-manifested to the covered eyes of the modern man. Modern men want to see everything with their eyes, although they are not sufficiently qualified. Consequently, they disbelieve in the existence of the demigods or of the Supreme God. They should see through the pages of authentic scriptures and should not simply believe their unqualified eyes. Even in these days, God can also be seen by qualified eyes tinged with ointment of the love of God.
Premanjala Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Isn't it? The same words. Tatascha Manavakale Ijitaye Rushayo Pare Pitaro Vibudha Daitya Manushyaha Kartubhir Vibhum Kartubhir Vibhum. This is the last verse. Thereafter, Manus were born. Then great sages, in due course of time, great sages came. Pitarha, the 4 fathers were there. The Daityas were there, the great devotees, learned scholars, Vibudha were there, Manusha, mankind. So this was just to please the Lord. You have this in 3rd chapter also. I created the set of demigods. Remember? Which is the verse in Bhagavad Gita. Open Bhagavad Gita. Which is the verse in Bhagavad Gita which speaks that I have created the set of men, the set of demigods. Which is the verse. Open. Don't forget. You should know to link the verses also. In the beginning of creation, 3.10, Sahayakya Praja Srishtva Purovacha Prajapati Anena Prasavishwadham Eshas Postishta Kamadu. In the beginning, the Lord of creation set 4 generations of men, demigods, along with the sacrifices for Vishnu, blessing them, be thou happy. So everything is done for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Set of generations of men, generations of demigods, all have appeared. 3.10 speaks this. Here also the same thing has been given. This is for the pleasure of Krishna. Bade Prabhu, Jai Mohan Prabhu. Join late, Prabhu. Should be in time. 8 o'clock the class starts.
Hare Krishna, I just came.
Okay, read. You'll miss important things. So many important verses are there. Okay, read. Do one thing, we go. If you don't know the connectivity. Aruna Mataji, you read. Mute your phone, Prabhu. Mute your phone. Aruna will read.
Hare Krishna, text 30. Tatascha manava kale ijire rishayo pare pitaro vibhuda daitya manushya kratur Kratubir Vibhum. Translation. Thereafter, the Manus, the father of mankind, the great sages, the forefathers, the learned scholars, the Daityas, and mankind perform sacrifices meant to please the Supreme Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Daityas are devotees of the demigods because they want to derive the greatest possible material facilities from them. The devotees of the Lord are Ekanishta, or absolutely attached to the devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, they have practically no time to seek the benefits of material facilities. Because of their realization of the spiritual identity, they are more concerned with spiritual emancipation than with material comforts. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
So what is the purpose of their sacrifice? To have more spiritual emancipation. What is the purpose of the materialistic person? And he performs the sacrifices, more material comforts. So here ends what are the ingredients which has been taken, that is also there. How it all has happened, the whole thing. How the sambaraha samvrtaha happens, that has been given. Okay, everything emanates from him. At that time, I did not find anything. I found the limbs of the Lord. From there, I started assembling the ingredients and giving it the shapes. Any doubts you can ask.
Mataji, in text 25, they are saying other requirements are utensils, grains, clarified butter, honey, gold, earth, water. The Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda. See, when we see Yajna, generally Yajurveda is separate Yajna, Samaveda is separate Yajna, Rig Veda is separate Yajna.
Mantras are given from all the yajnas. There will be a Yajurvedi Brahmana who may be performing. It is not Yajurveda Brahmana, Yajurveda Yajna, Rig Veda. All the Vedas, there are verses which has been taken.
Okay.
All the three Vedas are used for his purpose only.
Okay. Means mantras are extracted from all the three Vedas for any particular yajna. That way.
There is specific purpose, specific mantras.
So the Brahmanas will be expert in all these Vedas.
He
They
should
have to be
be.
expert
Then only
in-
he is a
Yes,
he
yes.
should be. That is why Brahmanas should be trained in the Gurukul. Brahmanas doesn't just come like that. Brahmanas have to be trained in the Gurukul for performing Vedic sacrifice. So there are two types of sacrifice. One is Vedic sacrifice, which only a qualified Brahmana trained in these Vedas can only do. Can only do. Others are created Brahmanas. Like in our ISKCON, there are created Brahmanas who have no pre-qualifications to perform Vedic yajnas. Yes, but they can do Vaishnava yajnas, like Narsimha yajna. Chant all the pranam mantra, do swaha. That is Narsimha yajna, Sudarshan yajna. Vaishnava yajnas only devotee can do, even if he is not having the pre-qualification of studying the Vedas. But sanskara yajnas, they cannot. If they try to do, then the whole sanskara is not possible. It is not correct. Like in one of the marriage ceremony I went, you know what was the mantras which just chanted from Bhagavatam? Then Cheto Darpanam. But that is not for the Vivaha Sanskara. For everything, there is a specific purpose, and special mantras are there. Why we are rejecting that? Just because we are Krishna conscious, we are in the Krishna conscious moment. In the marriage ceremony, there are invocations which is done for Parvati, Durga, that is Durga ji. Even Rukmini went and prayed Durga ji, na? Because marriage institution itself is nothing spiritual in it. You are invoking the demigod so that you get the qualification to worship Krishna. And that is how proper way Shiva is worshipped. Ganapati worship starts. But if you don't do all these things, we are actually becoming non-Vedic. You should not be non-Vedic. Non-Vedic means no sanskaras. Sanskaras cannot be done Bhagavatam verses are not for the sanskaras. Bhagavatam verses are for attaining the prema pumartho mahan. Prema for Krishna. Any other doubt? Ancha kalpatarubesha kripa siddhi jayata kapitanam pavanam Vaishnavam pranamam Vaishnavam ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.